You know, I've had a lot of juicy stories on this channel, but this one, top of the list. What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, or maybe not because YouTube is weird, we're going to be talking about a lieutenant getting into a relationship with an inmate at one of the facilities that I was at.
Oh my god.
If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a person in long-term recovery who has in fact gone to prison. It's not a flex, I'm just used to saying it. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel and my podcast. I am also having a meet and greet June 18th, 2022 in the Chicagoland area, and the venue will be announced very soon. As soon as we know exactly how many people are coming, we will be able to book the venue, and I will change the event on the website or whatever. But basically it's 3 hours of dedicated time with backdrops and ring lights so we can take a bunch of cool pictures and maybe do some TikToks. And my friends Cody Green, aka Schizophrenic Hippie, Mindy Scorpio, and Comrade, aka Michael Lisi, they are coming to the event as well. Jason's gonna be there, Reese is gonna be there. It's just gonna be a really good time. So grab a ticket in the description box of this video before they sell out. All right, let's kick this thing off. You know, when it comes to like top asked questions on this channel, it's usually like, why'd you go to prison? Or talk about sex in prison. Like, it's, for whatever reason, every video I've ever done on it performs crazy well. People are really interested to know about sex in prison. You know, it's kind of a hot topic. And let me start this video by saying the dynamic between CO and inmate, not acceptable. So anytime there is a misalignment in like power, you know what I'm saying? Like if someone has power or control over you, or they're in a position of power and the other person is not, there's gonna be an issue there. So a CO having a sexual relationship with an inmate is illegal, and it is technically rape, because an inmate cannot defy a direct order. If a CO tells you to do something, you have to do it. Period. That's the way it is. That's the structure and hierarchy of prison. And that power struggle and that power dynamic is a very real part of prison life. There are plenty of examples where it happened exactly like that. The CO being in charge of the inmate demanded that he or she do something with them. It happens every day. But there is also a different side to this where it's consensual, even though legally it is not consensual, but there is plenty of scenarios on the flip side of that coin where the inmate is a willing participant and wants it, and the CO is a willing participant and it's consensual, but there cannot be a consensual relationship in that dynamic. So I kind of just want to start with that. It is illegal in every way, shape, or form, point blank, period. That's the way that it is. But think about it this way, like people fall in love at work, right? I met Reese at work. This happens in prison. Same scenario where a CO falls in love with an inmate falls in love with a CO, inmate falls in love with inmate. I actually was doing time with a couple that met in prison and they're married and they're living their best life now. So it happens, right? And I've known COs to fall in love with inmates and then they get married when the inmate is released, and then usually the CO like loses their job. Anyway, let's talk about the lieutenant and the inmate. So this happened at Wrightsville unit, and I know there are a lot of women that have served time with me in my comment section. They're like, yo, I remember that, or this happened, or this is what I saw, this is my perspective. Crazy, but I'm a female, so I was in a female prison. And I was only at this medium security prison for a short time because I went in when I was about 6 months pregnant. And if that sounds confusing, I was arrested at 3 weeks pregnant, but I didn't get transferred to prison until I was 6 months pregnant. Jail and prison are different. Moving on. So I was only at the medium security for a short time, 6 months maybe less. And during my time there, I had my daughter, and I was eventually kicked out for beating up a chomo. Different video. I'll link it down below. Almost immediately after getting there, there were rumors about this lieutenant, who was a female, getting into an intimate relationship with an inmate. And just to pause there, I think a lot of people think that the only time this happens where a CO gets into an intimate relationship is if it's like a straight relationship. That's not always the case. So in this scenario, the lieutenant was a female, the inmate was a female. Okay, moving on. There were rumors about this relationship, and that's something you have to know about prison as well. You're not doing anything in secret. All we do is watch you. And the way that you looked at somebody, the way that you were walking, the way that you're talking. Oh, she has her sneakers on. Oh shit, she laced up. Like, we're watching everything. Everything. Don't you put your sneakers on? Because if you put your sneakers on, then I'm gonna put my sneakers on. When you put your sneakers on, it means that you're getting ready for a fight because you don't want to fight in flip-flops. Trust me. So there were rumors about the lieutenant and this inmate. I almost always ignored those because everyone always said it, and a lot of the times either we can't prove it or it just ended up not being true. So at this point, I'm like, whatever. not true, no way, who cares, stop telling me your drama and your gossip, because what time is chow? Like, I was very uninterested in like that whole drama situation, and I always brushed it off. But the rumors were so crazy that you just could not ignore them. I'm not like better than gossip. I want to hear some tea, but at that point in my bid, just please leave me alone. I don't care about any of this shit. I'm trying to get to the house. So I'm thinking, who cares about this rumor? Well, one day I see the lieutenant and this inmate walking kind of like down the hallway together. Now the lieutenant and this inmate work together, and I don't know exactly what the job was, but they like would do like not maintenance, but like random shit around the prison. So maybe maintenance, but random shit where they like fix things or clean up things or whatever. There was like this little garage next to the housing unit, and they would like work out there and like do stuff and fix things up. So we'll just call it maintenance. But I think there was like another component to something that they did there, and I'm so dumb, I never paid attention. But I watched them walk down the hallway and they're like laughing with each other, and I'm like, okay, maybe this rumor is true. A few days go by, maybe even a couple of weeks, and that lieutenant came into our unit, and she was so shitty, like for no reason. And specifically, she was shitty to the inmate that was rumored to have a relationship with her. And you know, they're talking about something like work or something, and just like show up on time or whatever she's saying, but like in a grouchy way. Well, as soon as the lieutenant walks out of the unit, the inmate, her girlfriend that she's in a relationship with, definitely, is not upset that she was just yelled at. Like, she just immediately goes from like, okay, yeah, no, I'll do it better, to, and she's going through her trunk. I am a people watcher, like most inmates were, and I watched that go on, and I'm like, was that staged? Did y'all fake that little, you need to get to work, inmate? Like, did you fake that? Was that okay? The reason why that is important is because when these rumors start to get out of hand, if they're true, you will see these two people interact in a different way. So the lieutenant wanted to, I don't know, maybe she just wanted to like end the rumors, and everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. Not one person thought, well, they're not sleeping together because of this little argument. No, I went from thinking, oh, it's just prison gossip, that's not true, to thinking, oh, they fucking, because of the way they interacted like girlfriend and girlfriend, like they're in a relationship, you know? That's what it looked like. It looked like if your girlfriend was the boss and you worked with her, and everyone's like, oh, you treat her better than everyone else, then you'd want to like go over the top to make sure that people don't think that you are like giving her special treatment or whatever. That's exactly what the vibe was. So I'm like,
that was stupid.
Grown ass women can't like play it cool. No. So a couple of weeks go by, and I want to get back to work. Now, I was on a maternity leave. I also was going through very serious PTSD. So I was in the infirmary a couple of weeks after she was born, and they extended my maternity leave, which was 6 weeks. Well, the nurse had extended that to like 8 or 12 weeks or something because of the mental stuff I was going through. Well, it was before the 12 weeks it was, I want to say, where I could go back to work and get reclassified for a job assignment. Well, I kind of chased the lieutenant down one day, and I said, hey, officer, whatever her name was, I really wanted to know if I get cleared through medical, if I could just come out here and work in the shop with you guys. I really want to get out of the unit. I want to get back to work. And she was like, okay, Kent, put in a kite, and if the nurse clears you, then I'll call you to work the next day after she clears you. I'm like, oh, bet, thank you so much. So I went back, put in a kite, and the nurse cleared me. In like maximum security prison, it takes a lot longer to get to the nurse, but this was a medium and it was a little bit smaller. So I was able to get into the nurse a little faster. Not that that detail matters, but I went out my first day at this work assignment, and this lieutenant had me washing bunks, like bunk beds, but like individual ones, not like the two ones. So like a bunk bed, but like one bed. Okay, so I had to wash these like metal racks or whatever, and I worked my freaking ass off doing it because they were mad grungy, and I felt so good about like working that day. And while I'm in the shop, like putting away everything that I had gotten out to do this, I see them, and you know the look. You know the look. I see them like looking at each other like, I want to rip your clothes off with my teeth, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. You do not have to worry about me. You do not have to worry about me. And I'm like trying to like get out of this shop. Like what do I do? Just put the shit down, like go, you know what I mean? So I put this stuff down as fast as I could and got out of that little shop. I didn't tell anybody this. And I swear 2, maybe 3 weeks later, I am in my housing unit and I see the lieutenant and a bunch of other people walking out. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but within 30 minutes, everyone's buzzing about it. The lieutenant was walked off of the freaking compound because it came to light that she was in fact having a sexual relationship with this inmate. And I'm like, oh, I saw it. I saw the I want to rip your clothes off vibe, you know? So I'm like, what? And everyone's like, oh my God, Jess, can you believe it? And I'm like,
No, I can't believe it at all. This is crazy.
right? And now everyone's buzzing with it. I'm looking around to see where the inmate is. She's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, oh man, oh, they got her. A few hours go by and a couple of officers come in and they clear her bed area out. So when you're taken to SAG, officers will come in, clear out your locker, take all of your stuff, put it in like a buggy or whatever, and they'll hold it for you for when you get out of segregation. So I never saw this person again. And I was in that prison for a couple of months after this happened. So I don't know like what happened to the inmate. I don't know how much time she got for that, but I know that lieutenant was walked off of the compound and she had bars, dude. Like she had been there for a long time. So it's just crazy. Like this could happen to anybody. You could fall in love in any scenario. So I never saw charges pressed against her. I never saw it in a paper. No one ever was like, hey, check out this link. She got arrested. So I think that she just lost her job. And I don't know if that's because they didn't have a ton of evidence against her. Like maybe it was just letters that they found back and forth. I'm not sure. I don't know to the extent in which they found like evidence or whatever, but I know that she definitely lost her job and she was walked off the compound. And I tried to look her up and I don't see any article of her arrest. So I'm pretty sure that she didn't go to prison for it, but she will never work in another prison again. And that's what happens. You lose your whole career for a situation like that. She'll never be a CO again. That is a forever consequence. In a lot of other scenarios, the consequence is prison. So I think that she's hella freaking lucky for the consequence just being the loss of her job. If you guys want to know how often this happens in prison, it happens in every single jail and prison in America. And the reason behind a lot of it is the inmates' basic needs are not being met and they're in survival mode. And they know in a lot of scenarios, the only way to get their basic needs met is to do inappropriate shit with officers. If you want to wash your hair in prison, you need money. You want to eat something extra, you need money. You want a Tums, a Tylenol, money. You want to make a phone call? That costs money. You want deodorant and toothpaste? You better pay for it. A lot of people don't have family members and friends sending in money so they can do those things. Prison is expensive. And let me just tell you right now, prison is like you shop at the dollar store, but it's Target prices. So everything we're getting is dollar store stuff or expired or like cheap ass stuff, but they're charging us like we're shopping at Target at least. So it sucks. They're making a lot of money off of inmates. If you have experienced something like this, I want to hear about your experience in the comment section down below. Be sure to smash that subscribe button so you can get more crazy ass story times about prison in my life. I want to take just a quick minute to thank each and every one of you for getting the channel to 700,000 subscribers. What? If you've been a Ride or Die crew member from the beginning, I used to film on my phone on the floor. I'm so unbelievably grateful to have such an amazing support system on the internet. I love y'all so much. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, stay safe, stay in recovery, whatever that looks like to you. Don't break the law. I can teach you all about prison stuff, and I will see you in my next one.